Hi, welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee, and I'm here with some friends, and I'm here to share my passion, and it's all about education and making people aware and helping people have that knowledge so that we can have the best integrity of life. So we're going to get back right to it because we're going to have a lot to talk about, and it's a lot to share, and it's amazing people here, and we have my co-host, Diane. Hi, Diane.
Hi,
How
Dee.
you
Good
doing?
evening, Dee. How are you?
Very good, very good. And of course, you know, we're going to start with how's your passion?
Well, my passion is photography. I do pet photography. I love animals. And I'm also an actor. And I also like inspiring people. And talking about inspiring people, I have our special guest today, Amy Akel.
Okay.
And she is definitely an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
I met her in college years ago. And she was a gymnast, a great athlete, and I was an athletic trainer. And she got lupus, and her story today, she's going to tell her story how she was a warrior, a true warrior, and a fighter. And she's going to put us through our journey. So let's introduce Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Good evening, Dee and Diane. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you
And
here.
my passion is I would like to help people who have an illness or a disease or people who are even facing a challenge in their life to learn and understand that life is a journey, not a destination. And also to let them realize that they can do it because I did it.
Yeah.
And also that when someone tells you no, you can turn around and say yes, because that's what I did in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And also to teach people that you need a blueprint in your life to have a health plan, because that's going to really help you focus to become better with yourself and take control of your life and be an advocate for yourself.
Yes, because that's amazing. And
Yeah.
I know you've helped a lot of people, and so we're going to definitely, that's a passion, and that's a passion basically of all of us.
Right.
So that's why the universe is bringing all of us
Together, right.
So it's very amazing. I started reading your book, and well, you started with what kind of journey? Your journey's been a long
journey. 20 years,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so you want to start with how
Sure.
you got, you know.
It first started in 1989 when my parents came home on January 31st, and they told us that my sister had passed from lupus. And from there, I didn't know much about it. We didn't know much about it,
Right.
and neither did the whole lupus community, because it was a long time ago.
Right.
And then from there, I went to college, came back, got married, got divorced, started to work. And after I started working, I was diagnosed with lupus because I was teaching at the time. And when I was teaching, the day I went into school was my tenure year. I was a school teacher on Long Island, teaching 4th grade elementary school. And after I was teaching that day, when I went to school, my body was blown up. My legs were blown up like the size of bowling balls. I couldn't move. I was achy. I was in pain. So I ended up going to the hospital. And then once I was at the hospital, I was there for hours with no diagnosis. And I had no idea what was the matter with me. They sent me home with a prescription for Celebrex. I didn't even know what Celebrex was at the time.
And you know what I want to bring up? A lot of people don't know what lupus is.
Yeah.
So I would like you to tell, there's different types of lupus. So let's
Right.
explain.
Well, first I'll explain what lupus is
Right,
in my
okay.
own terms,
Yeah.
because in medical terms it's very confusing, because when I first had it, I didn't understand what it was.
Well, it's an autoimmune
It's
disease,
an autoimmune,
right?
it's a chronic
Yeah.
inflammatory autoimmune disease, which affects your connective tissue
Right.
and your organs.
Okay.
And in turn, it affected my brain, my heart, my kidneys,
Yeah.
my skin. It could also affect your liver and your lungs, but fortunately I didn't have any problems with my liver or my lungs.
Right.
And also, you lose your hair when you have lupus because you're under such stress all the time. And the stress can end up killing you, basically.
Oh, yeah.
But whether you have lupus or not, stress can affect people.
Yeah.
It can affect people.
And there's different types of lupus. There's different types.
Right. There's systemic lupus, which is what I have, which means it's all over my body. And then there's neonatal lupus, which is you can be born with it.
Right.
And then there's discoid lupus, which
Right.
is you get a rash on your face.
And what about is that the same as the, what is it? I can't pronounce it. What is it?
Systemic erythematosus.
No, it's the one that's the skin one.
That's the
That's
discoid. The
discoid?
cutaneous can be
Okay,
cutaneous
okay,
or
cutaneous,
discoid.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. I know that it's an autoimmune disease that I actually have an autoimmune disease. I have alopecia.
Right.
And so when I first got it, they thought it might be lupus, because I also had rashes and
Right.
stuff like that. So I know that I don't, a lot of times they say it's genetics, but I don't believe a lot of times that it's genetic. I think more so it's environmental, so
Right.
epigenetics. And so, because your parents, nobody had it
Nobody
in your
had it in
family.
my family, but I
besides
believe-
your sister.
For me, I believe obviously it was genetic because my sister had it and then I had it. And I'm the youngest of 7 siblings in my family. So, 2 of us out of 3 had it. But I also believe that the environment did play a role in it.
Yeah.
Because while I was at school, they were getting rid of the asbestos while I was there. And I also believe that that had some effect on my body too.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I was never sick. I only had mono once in college. So I believe it was a mixture of both, but I
Yeah.
believe you're right, both
Yeah.
things, yes,
Yeah.
not just one.
Well, the thing is, also they say that I was reading your book, and you also you can be exposed to it by like activates through medicines and all kinds of stuff like that. So,
Right. It can be drug induced.
so
yes.
that would be environmental, or even like the water and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of people are now coming out with this
With the
lupus.
disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a couple of people on previously. One that wrote her book, and she has lupus, and this is your
Right.
body is under amazing stress,
Right.
and it's a journey, like you said.
Right, and the
yeah.
other thing, when you have the lupus, what happens is your body starts attacking your good cells, and then in turn it's just attacking you
Right.
from all different angles all the time.
Yeah.
So when you get a cold or you get a cut on your body, it takes at least 3 weeks, it takes a month or 2 months longer than the average person
Yeah.
for your body to heal properly.
Right.
And there's so many people, the statistics you said,
the
of the
statistics.
immune problem.
Yeah, there's over 80 autoimmune issues in the world. People have diseases.
Yeah.
And in the world, 5 million people have lupus. And in the United States, 1.5 million people have lupus.
It's good. I know my cousin just got diagnosed, and he's a male. I did a show with, and I haven't even gotten a chance to speak to him, but I did have a show with another male call in, and because he wasn't able to come, but another young lady, she actually says that just changing her, what she ate and changing
Diet.
her stress and
Yeah.
what have you, helped her go into remission.
Right.
And she, doesn't have it any longer.
Right.
And it's a big challenge out
It's a
here.
big challenge.
You
And
know?
also,
yeah.
I'd like to add one more statistic that 90% of women get lupus, only 10% of the men get lupus in the world.
Yeah.
with it.
And
So-
it causes other issues.
Other issues, right.
Because since it does affect the heart or your lungs, or it can cause you to have a heart attack or
Right. Kidneys-
stroke and
kidneys
yeah,
dialysis.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
And
Diabetes,
right,
all
with
that
me,
kind
when
of
it
stuff.
affected my brain, I
Yeah.
had a grand mal seizure.
Oh my, yeah.
I had a
did
mini
read that.
stroke.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
I've
my
been through
gosh.
everything.
How old were you when you had those challenges?
Well, I was diagnosed with my lupus when I was 30.
Okay.
And the irony of my life is that my sister died when she was 30, and then I got it when I was 30.
Right.
So, just think of the psychological impact of that, dealing with that.
Yeah.
It's a lot to handle because you have to be balanced with your mind, body, and your soul.
I believe that
Yeah,
for sure.
and
yeah.
Amy wrote a book,
You're right.
and she's an author of the book that we have here. It's called The Butterfly Girl.
Right.
And in the book, she tells about her journey. And I want you to just explain where you got the name The Butterfly Girl, because that's
sure. The reason why I put the butterfly temporary tattoo on my face was because people who have lupus have a mylar or a butterfly rash on their face. And the other reason is because I feel like I've come out of my cocoon. You go from a caterpillar and you turn into a butterfly.
Yeah. That's
So you're really
beautiful.
growing and evolving.
Yeah. And it's a journey that continues.
And that continues. I'll always have
Yeah.
the lupus,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, the thing is, you are sharing it,
Right.
so those folks are not alone.
Right.
Because what happens is, like, a lot of people are facing so many diseases and so many challenges, and they don't realize that so many people have had it. So helping them see what you have gone through may help that person
Right,
go through
exactly.
it a little easier, or at least can identify and make it better for them.
Yes,
So
without a
that's
doubt.
a
And that's why
blessing.
they call lupus, it's the silent disease.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
nobody talks about it. And it's taken me 20 years to finally stand up for myself and say something
Yeah.
because I was really embarrassed. I was
yeah.
ashamed.
Why would you be?
And she felt like there was a label, like you
Yeah,
mentioned.
there's a label. People put labels on you, but to me, lupus is just a label. It's just a word, and it depends what you want to do with that word. So I turned it from a negative into a positive.
Yeah, yeah. You can't ever bring any, because there's nothing. A lot of people at this point, well, you realize that a disease is something that you can't help.
Right.
So at this point, you can't. But that was your perception.
Right.
So unfortunately, you had to grow from there, and
Right.
that made you who you are now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's amazing. So if you hadn't gone there, you wouldn't probably be where you are.
Right. And I also say you have to honor your struggle.
Yeah,
And once you
yes,
honor your
yes,
struggle,
yes.
it becomes a blessing in your life.
Yeah.
And now it's my blessing, and now I'm here to help so many people.
yeah.
And what I really want to do is to do motivational speaking,
Right.
not only in the United States, but all over the world.
Yeah.
Because there's such a huge audience, and so many
yeah.
people need the help.
It's so true. It's so true. And you know what? I see you doing that. That's your journey. I think all of us right now, being here, that's how we got started. I know I got started because I just started sharing my story,
Right.
and all of a sudden I just felt like I needed to share more, and I went on a show, and so I shared myself and
Right.
shared more, and then I came back and I was like, you know what?
It's not so bad.
No, it's
And
all
you know
about-
what? There's so much
Right.
to be able to share.
Right.
So people need to know, because our people are dying,
Right.
and because they don't have that knowledge, and they don't know the resources, and they don't know where to go. So
Right.
you helping them find that resource, writing this book, which is amazing, and I have to finish it because I did not get a chance, because I've had some
okay.
challenges this week, but I will definitely finish
Finish
it by the end of this week.
That's great.
And,
Yes.
because it's a quick read,
Right.
but it's amazing, because I felt me being there.
Right.
I felt I've gone through that same journey, or I've gone to a very similar journey.
Right.
So it's I think most people need to buy this book so that they can just feel like they're not alone, and okay,
Right.
I've been
through
identify it. Yeah.
Right, because when I first had lupus, like I said before, there was no resources for me.
Yeah.
I had no one to turn to, where to
Right.
go. Nobody knew anything. And now it's starting to come out finally. And now the lupus foundations in the city, they're trying to merge into one. There's 3 of them, and they're trying to merge into one, which is wonderful, so they can have a better voice and be more out there for people. And they're
Yeah,
trying to promote lupus more.
Right.
And,
No,
and there's one doctor that you saw that he told you after 10 years, you
Right.
could tell that story.
One of my original doctors that I had turned to me and said, I write this in the book, that my hands would be crippled and my life expectancy wouldn't be so great. And that's where I tell people, when people tell you no, you turn around and say, yes, I can,
yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah, definitely. And
You
you
gotta
know what?
be strong.
Yeah, I don't understand the bedside manner of people. That's like my mom. I shared with you that she has cancer.
Right.
So everybody's like, "Well, did you ask how long?" And I'm like, "Why?"
Right.
Why? Because guess what? They can't. First of all, it's not a death sentence. You
Right.
can turn it around.
You can,
If you decide to do something, if you want to really make it happen, you can make your body heal itself.
Oh, definitely. Mind over matter
Yes,
is
yes,
everything.
yes, and that's what you did.
Right.
Right.
And
Okay.
It's
So you're gonna have to tell us
It's
how
also
you
emotionally
did
and
that.
physically,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's about pins. Amy writes in the book that she has certain pins that she goes by, and
Yeah,
you
the
could name
balance.
some of the pins.
Having a balanced formula in your life is essential, whether you have an illness or you don't have an illness. But I always make this contrast, like not a contrast, but this analogy that I wear a hat every day. And in my hat, I have my little pins. And every day I pull out the pins that I need. But the one pin that I need every day is self-confidence.
Yes.
And the other one is self-esteem.
Oh wow.
And I also always put a smile on my face.
Oh, wow.
Because when you put a smile on your face, and you pass someone because you don't know what kind of a day they're
Yeah,
having,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
change their
Oh,
life.
yeah,
Yes,
definitely, definitely.
And when they smile back at you, it
Yeah.
makes you feel
Yeah,
good.
yeah, without a doubt.
You
without
know,
a doubt.
and I also say you have to put on your suit of armor every day. I get up every day and I put on my suit of armor,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to
Yeah.
take the world on.
That's so cool. I like that because I know I can't help but smile. Okay,
Right.
that's who I am, and I know with all my struggles and what have you, I can't help it. This is who I am, and you're not going to see it because I feel if you didn't do anything, why am I going to bring it to you?
Right.
You know, and even if you did something, I'm like, it's okay.
Right.
You know, let's just move on because it don't make no sense. You know,
Right.
so I'm just who I am. I've always been that way. You know, smile. I remember my girlfriend's like, you know, you haven't really changed.
Right.
And I'm like, although I was very shy, but I've always smiled.
Right.
You know, but prior to that, I had buck teeth, so I couldn't help but smile because I couldn't close my mouth.
That's funny because when I was little growing up, my nickname was Bucky Beaver.
Oh, really?
Out of my family because I'm the youngest of
Yeah,
seven.
yeah.
And I had buck teeth too.
I had it too. I had the braces. I
But
had the
then,
same
thank
thing.
God, in the book I write, my father was a dentist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he passed too the same year my sister passed.
Yeah.
And one day I was in chemistry doing a lab, taking blood, and I fainted, and I chipped all my 4 front teeth. And I attended Our Lady of Mercy Academy in Syosset. So my father's office was very close. So my father came over. He picked me up, and I felt like, I woke up, I was on the roller coaster ride, but I wasn't. I had like no teeth left.
Oh, my God.
And so now I have beautiful teeth, thank God. So
yeah.
it's always a
Oh, my
nice
God.
reason to smile.
I had
fun.
I lost my tooth too. My sister and I were running back and forth, watching like premieres. I'll never forget Batman and Lost in Space, and we collided, and my tooth fell out.
Right.
And but back then they just stuck it back in there, so
Right.
I actually had a root canal that was like a natural root canal.
Right.
So the tooth is still there, but it turned a little gray. But yeah, I hear
Now you have beautiful teeth.
Thank
We
you.
all have braces.
Thank
I had
you.
them too
Yeah.
when
I
I
had
was
braces
younger.
too in
I
my
had the
20s.
teeth
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I had them 3 times.
Whoa,
Oh my gosh.
that's a
But
lot.
you know, it helped my self-esteem because I always had challenges with that. But
Right.
you know, with you, it's like you were a gymnast.
Yes, I was a gymnast
She was a
growing up.
great athlete. She was
So-
a great athlete.
Wow.
growing
So
up.
what did you do as a gymnast? Because I was like,
I used to compete all around, did all
Okay.
4 events.
oh really?
And I competed on a regional level, which was great.
Well, you did floor
I did
exercises
floor
and all that kind of stuff.
uneven bars and the balance beam.
Really? Wow.
I loved it. It was great.
Wow.
I used to do it 7 days a week, 5 hours a day. And it taught me a lot of discipline, and I believe that helped me get through my journey.
Right. Right.
And it still does to this day.
Yeah.
Because I'm so well disciplined, which is
Yeah,
great. And
yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
You have to be organized in your life.
You're gonna have to teach me.
And the knowledge. I wanted to talk about the knowledge and the education that you had. A little
Right.
bit
I
about your
believe,
background.
I believe I'm a
Knowledge.
lifetime learner.
Uh-huh.
Went to high school, went to college.
Yeah.
I have 2 master's
Right.
degrees.
Right. Wow.
And I keep learning. And when I wrote the book, I went to Nassau Community College to learn how to write the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I became very close with my professor, and he's an author too, Michael Swedenberg.
Okay.
And he's fantastic. And when I wrote the story was beautiful for me to write because it was
Yeah.
very cathartic for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew it would help a lot of people,
Right.
and it would be really motivational and inspiring. So I did that.
Yeah.
But it was great.
No, it is motivational and very inspiring because just the couple of chapters I read so far, I was like, wow, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. And the thing is, I just kept on. I'm
To
like,
keep going.
Yeah, actually,
I-
I wanted I know my stepfather and my mother, I want them to see this show, because
Right.
I just know that it touches everybody. It has to touch everybody, because
Right.
it's people are living
Right.
such difficult lives, and
Yeah.
in order to just be able to grow and try to have a little balance
Right.
and just get a little healthy, because it is the mind and the
Right.
body and the spirits and all that. If you don't have that, in your career, you have to be happy with
Right.
your career. You have to be happy in your finances.
With everything.
And
That-
it's struggling
Like,
now,
yeah.
huh?
And talking about that, there's a quote in the book. It's saying, let me just put this quote because I love this. Without a struggle, there can be no progress by Frederick Douglass, and I think that's true.
It's
I
true.
think that's a great quote out of the book.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Yes.
tell you, I love those inspirational quotes. I was like, wow, that just kind of, it did inspire me. You know, you had one with Maya Angelou. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
Maybe Diane, do you have it written down?
I don't know if I have that one, but I have a few quotes that I just loved.
It's
But
just,
you know, when I wrote the book, I did a lot of research,
really,
and I researched that most people don't read more than 100 pages, so I made it 70 pages.
right.
And so when people give me the responses back from the book, they say,
Yeah.
"I really read your book.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of emotion with
No,
it."
definitely,
which is great.
definitely. And the thing is, you gave yourself. You gave yourself.
Right, my heart and soul.
Yeah, your heart is. You feel it. You feel.
It was raw.
Yeah,
Very raw.
No, it really was. I was like, oh, okay, girlfriend.
I put it all out there because
Yeah.
that's the only way you're
Yeah,
going to motivate
yeah,
people
yeah,
and
yeah.
get people to change.
Yeah, yeah.
And you want to help people and help them become healthy
Yeah.
and heal them and
yeah,
be happy.
Yeah, and they have to help them. You know, in
You have
order
to
to
have
get
to-
the tools, you're giving
Right.
them the
Tools,
tools,
right.
You know, to help them. You know, help themselves. You know, and that helps you too.
Right.
You know, because it's hard to continue to do on your own and then still be balanced. You know,
Right.
so this just kind of helped you get balanced.
It does. And
Yeah.
it's been such a nice response from everybody.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised.
And you self-authored this?
I've self-published my book.
Yes.
Which is
okay.
great.
Self-published. Oh.
And
Yeah.
she also has another book out. It's
My
a
children's
children's
story.
book.
Oh, really?
Annabelle and Lenny's Magical Quest.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Because I've been
Okay.
a teacher now for many, many years.
What grades do you teach?
Well, I used to be fourth grade,
Mm-hmm.
and then I became very ill, and I wasn't.
Okay.
I had to give up my teaching career.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just substitute teach.
Okay.
But I have 2 certifications. I have one in elementary, kindergarten through 6th grade,
Okay.
and phys ed K through 12.
Okay. And that's what you got your master's in?
I got my master's in elementary education and
Okay.
phys ed,
Okay.
and my
okay.
second master's in Master of Science, Library Information
Oh,
Sciences.
really? Oh.
So I love to do research.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
researched all those quotes,
Yeah.
and I researched about how long the book should be and whatnot.
Okay. So
And
you've
she-
been in remission? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You've been in remission for what?
6 years.
6 years now?
Yeah.
So are you able to exercise?
That's
and
what I was going to
Yeah.
say. You have a whole routine.
Exercise.
What
I have
you're
a
doing
whole
now.
routine.
Okay.
First of all, everyone needs to exercise
yeah.
because exercise, drinking water, and eating healthy are the 3 key elements
Right.
to making yourself healthy
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Because exercise reduces the inflammation in your body. Because, like I said before, you know, lupus is a chronic inflammation, autoimmune
Right.
disease that affects you, your connective tissue, and your organs, which is also includes your joints. So if you're doing that, it's really going to help you. And actually, I write in the book, swimming saved my life.
Really?
Yeah, because they wanted to replace both my hips a couple of years ago. I wasn't able to walk.
My goodness.
My last hospital visit, they came and they took me out of my house by ambulance. They
Yeah.
literally picked me out of bed, put me in the ambulance, and took me to the hospital.
Oh, my goodness.
And I wasn't even able to sit down and even go to the bathroom. And I had a special seat to go to the bathroom because I couldn't bend my hips.
Wow.
And I said to myself, no. I said, I was a gymnast growing up. What exercise can I do?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was swimming because there's
Yeah.
no pressure, there's no impact on your joints.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. I started slowly swimming every day.
Okay.
And then from there, I started to build my core.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I did walking.
Right.
And then I got on the elliptical and the different machines
Yeah, yeah,
and the TRX.
yeah. Okay.
And I started doing spin class.
Wow.
And
She's also doing marathons now.
Really?
She did a few marathons.
I do it for the Lupus
Lupus.
Foundation.
Right.
Either the walk or the
Right.
5K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So the thing is, at this point, you are healthy enough to go teach, but not.
Right.
You don't want to do. Well, now you don't have the time.
Right.
You know? Basically, sharing your story and being an advocate and what have you.
Right.
That's
Right, I'm hopefully
lot.
going to make the transition
Yeah,
from
yeah.
teaching. I'll be still teaching, but not children, but teaching adults.
okay.
So just a different audience.
Right.
Same
right.
medium,
But the
just different
kids
audience.
need to be taught this too.
Oh yeah,
Because you changed your diet also.
changed my diet
So
completely.
what kind of diet?
I got rid of all the sugars,
Mm-hmm.
the bread. I eat a lot of protein. every day I'm on this plan, this whole food-based nutrition program,
Okay.
which I take every day, and my blood work has been great ever since I've been on it.
Right.
And my hair's been growing
Right.
back, which is great,
Yeah.
because I was on chemo at one
Yeah.
point
Oh, really?
for 2 years.
Really?
They put me on chemo to change my DNA levels, and it didn't change anything.
No.
And what happened is that I got neuropathy very bad in my feet, and I went through menopause like the next day.
Yeah.
And they didn't
crazy.
tell me, unfortunately, to save my eggs, so I'm not able to have any children.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
God will bless me in different ways.
Well, you know what? I think all three of us have had that challenge too, for whatever reasons and what
Right.
have you. But we're all caregivers too.
Right. We all
So
caregivers.
those,
And those are our children right
yeah,
now.
Yeah.
exactly.
We're
Those are my
little
grown children.
right.
They
Right.
have been my grown children, and so we're all in the same
Same.
boat.
Right.
And we actually share. We're born in the same month.
Yeah.
You
We're
know?
Pisces,
Yeah.
right?
No,
I'm March. Well, I'm a
you're-
March.
you're a March.
We're
Yeah.
Scorpios.
You're,
Yeah,
Scor-
we're
you're
both.
Scorpios.
We're both Scorpios.
Yes, November 11th,
Then the-
and November 4th. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of. And my dad
All
was
passionate. We all want to
yeah,
help. We all
yeah,
want to
yeah,
connect with
yeah,
people in the
yeah,
universe
yeah.
and make it happen.
It's all good.
Yeah, it is. You know, initially I had wanted to try, and I did try.
Right.
Now my story is about, and one day we'll share, but because of my overweight,
Right.
and I couldn't really have children. I had challenges. I
Right.
had a lot of challenges, and when I tried to do it through in vitro, when I was getting, I got
Right.
engaged. I had I actually am married now, and what
Right.
have you. But it was very difficult, and they made it so difficult to try, because they were like, well, you're still overweight, and you're this, that, and it was just like, you know what? They wore me down.
Right.
They wore me down, They could have said, well, let's take the eggs that you do have and put them away and blah, blah. They didn't even want to, they just wore me
Yeah.
down. So I was like, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But who knows what would have happened if we
Right.
had the children, Unfortunately, they might have been sick,
Right.
So at this point, we're there
Right.
for our parents,
Yes.
And
Our
guess what?
parents
I
and-
don't think I could have handled having kids and
Right.
then with
Right.
the parents,
No. I look at it in my life, my mom was my pillar of my strength throughout my whole journey, and she still is.
Yeah.
So now it's my turn to
Yeah.
help her, which is great.
Yeah, no,
And we're all
it's-
caretakers
And
of
I
our
love that,
parents.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
It's a blessing.
It is
yeah.
such a blessing, it really is, and it's like, oh, thank goodness.
Yes.
Thank goodness we can be there for, But so you go on tours and you talk to people, and
I'm going to start doing that, yes. And I'm going to start out on the local level. We're going to my local libraries
Okay.
and the YMCA.
Okay.
And I've been interviewed in a couple local papers so far, which is good.
Yeah.
And then I have a fund in honor of my sister Ann.
Oh, nice.
And it's through the Long Island Community Foundation.
Uh-huh.
So if people would like to donate to her fund is called the Ann Caroline Cordy Foundation.
Okay.
Or they can just contact the Long Island Community Foundation, and they'll give them the information,
Wow, that's so
which is
cool.
really nice.
Yeah.
And for years, I've given money to all the lupus foundations, the one in the city and the one on Long Island, the SLE Lupus in the city, and the Long Island Queens Alliance on Long Island.
Did she have children?
No, my sister didn't have children. She was married, though, yes.
Yeah. So I read a little bit about that too, But wow, so she didn't have any children.
She didn't have any children.
You said you come out of what, seven?
Seven
Seven
children.
kids and her.
7 siblings, yes. And I'm the youngest.
And you're the youngest. So how about your other, your older?
She's my
siblings
oldest
and what-
sister.
That was your
She's-
oldest
yeah.
sister. And
No, she was the sister in the middle. I have another sister who's my oldest sister.
Oh, okay.
There's, there's seven, right?
There's 7,
And,
4
and
boys.
tell
and-
her how many grandchildren your mom has.
I think she's got 11 grandchildren,
So-
and I think she's got 8 great-grandchildren.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Yes.
That's such a blessing.
Big family,
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, that's so cool, So where is your family from originally?
We grew up in Old Brookville, New York,
Uh-huh.
and now I live in Glen Head with my mom.
Oh, okay. But where did, you all came from U.S. or where?
Or the United States.
Yeah.
But my culture, my background,
Yeah.
my father was Swedish and Polish,
Oh, okay.
and my mother is French and Italian.
Okay. And do you have, you don't go out there, you didn't really meet anybody from back then? Because you're saying
No.
that nobody had the lupus.
Nobody, no.
You know, but in terms of you grew up out in Long Island.
Right.
And they say a lot of times the water and stuff like that, you know, and the only two of y'all. So you weren't close in age. You had
My
8 years
My
difference.
sister was 8 years older than me, yeah.
Yeah. So in between, it's just strange.
They don't even
that
know
you
if
don't
it's
have-
hereditary.
yeah.
You know, there's no way.
No, they-
really. Can it be
It
hereditary?
is hereditary. They know that definitely.
Well,
And they
see,
also,
that's why I said the epigenetics, you know,
Right.
because it's not necessarily autoimmune disease. To me, is okay. Your body is attacking
itself,
itself,
right.
and the stimuli is things that we put in that doesn't recognize. Our body is doing the function that it's supposed to do.
Right.
Our body is actually so well organized to
Right.
do what it's supposed to do, which is defend against anything that's foreign.
Right.
So when we're putting in foreign invaders, it starts attacking. So most of the processed foods and most of the waters and most of the things that we're putting into our body, even the stress in the environment, it's being attacked by our
Right.
body. So what do? You know, the body's trying to do, and that's when it doesn't know, it
Right.
can't do anything.
Right.
But it stays there because all those things don't even go out.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and since they don't go anywhere, they stay in your body. That's
Right.
it. Just is a losing battle.
And you have to keep your body at acidity at a certain level
Yeah.
to
Right.
keep
Yeah.
it balanced, that diseases can't grow.
Well,
up
the
at seven-
alkaline,
the
they
alkaline
want it
has
to be a little more alkaline. But
seven.
then again, you know, certain things aren't just not going to be alkaline, you know. So your belly, you know, you have the gastric juices, and there's a lot of issues with that. You have a lot of issues with inflammation.
Right.
You have a lot of issues, you know, because I know I grew up with gastritis, and because I grew up with processed foods.
Right.
So that's where my obesity came from.
Right.
So it was also probably an autoimmune disease, or, you know, with the inflammation and what have you. My body's fighting, trying to, but it can't get better because
Right. 'Cause it's working against itself. Yeah.
Exactly. So to find out what these diseases, we do know what it is. You know, we do know. Unfortunately, it's because of these foods that are,
Right.
and the United States is allowing it. You know,
Right.
a lot of countries aren't even allowing certain things into our foods. You know, the dyes and the GMOs and
Right.
all the pesticides and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I believe the pesticides have a huge impact on
yeah,
everyone.
Yeah.
That's why there's 80 autoimmune diseases.
diseases.
You know,
Plus-
and
plus,
still
yeah.
counting.
And still
You know?
counting. And I also believe that saying, you know, you are what you eat is
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
So since I've changed my diet, I am what I eat, and I'm so much better for it now because I was eating a lot of processed food and a lot of fried foods growing up.
Right.
Because I was, you know, I didn't have a lot of time to eat because I was always working out, yet I was hungry and I wanted to get something quick to eat.
Yeah.
But now it's different, you know. You need a lot of fruits and vegetables. And the program that I'm on really gives me that. So
Right.
it bridges that gap. So whatever I'm not eating on my
Right.
fruits and vegetables,
Right.
it's making up for it, which
Right.
is great.
And
Do
I
you
eat
have
fruit
allergies
juices.
or anything?
I got allergies later on in life.
Yeah.
I have a little bit, but not as much now.
Right.
For a period I had it. When my immune system was really low, I had them.
Yeah.
But now that my immune system's trying to get strong again,
Right.
it's becoming less and less,
Yeah.
which is wonderful.
Yeah. Because I know I became allergic in my 40s also. All of a sudden, I think it was hormonal. You know, things started changing, and I had a lot of skin issues and
Right.
and hives and things like that. And
Yeah, I had a lot of skin issues too. When
Yeah.
I first had lupus, I had the butterfly rash on my face. Then when I had the chemo, I had like third-degree burns on my face for 2 years.
oh my God.
And I went everywhere, and nothing would, all the spas,
Right.
all the doctors,
Yeah.
nothing could help me. But the one product that I found was from Clinique, and I used to put it on my face. It used to minimize it, not take it away.
Right.
But it really helped me out a lot.
Right,
And then it was interesting because the minute I went off the chemo, my skin went back to its normal self.
Right.
So your body is really resilient.
Yeah.
It's really resilient.
But after you keep continuing battling and putting these very
The
toxic
chemicals,
stuff,
garbage.
and
And
you
you
got to
s-
be really careful.
And
when
you
you're-
stop gluten too, a lot of the gluten, the breads and the pastas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when when you're on the chemo, it felt like my body was burning inside. Every time I had it, it felt like my body was on fire.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very painful.
Yeah.
And you're so weak, and your mind is just, you're gone. You don't have enough strength.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing is, I think when you go through a disease, it's very up and down, but you have to go up and then go down to really learn from yourself and be an advocate for yourself. But when you're weak, you really can't be your advocate.
No.
That's why you need someone to be your advocate. And my mom was my advocate.
That was a blessing.
Which was a total blessing.
Yeah.
So that's why I say in my book, have someone either if it's a family member or your friend to do it. And I also kept a journal. It's important to keep a journal.
Really? Wow.
It's
So
important.
did you refer to that while you were writing this book?
I refer to that,
Yeah,
yes. And
yeah.
now I keep a journal. Every day I write a little blurb in my journal.
Yeah.
I don't write a lot, but just like the moments that were special to me that happened during the day.
Are you blogging or anything like that?
I have a website,
Uh-huh.
and I also have a blog on my website that you can go to.
Oh, okay, cool. I can't wait.
amyakell.com, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm trying to do it all.
Yeah, no, you are doing it all. You're not trying. You're doing it.
Yeah.
You know? I know you had said I cut you off. You know?
No, I think I mentioned it with the wheat and the gluten and
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Because I
really
became
important.
allergic to wheat and gluten, and it was like milk and all kinds of stuff that I was not
Right.
previously, and now I am. But I noticed the difference in my my body, my stomach, all that. You know,
Right.
it's just it's kind of crazy, and I've talked to doctors, and the doctors say, okay, you really, that's your hormones and
Right.
and what have you, but it's not. It's part your hormones, but what happens is you're putting those hormones in because all these animals and things have hormones and
Right.
pesticides.
And, right, you're getting
and it's
them.
causing,
Right.
yeah, and
You're
changing your
intaking
whole
them,
body.
right,
Exactly.
changing your body,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So after a certain time, you plateau and you can't it gets filled and you can't.
Right.
that's why I also do, we talked about on the other shows, I do my spices in the morning, my
Right.
hot water, my lemon, my cumin, my turmeric, and all the spices, and I feel a difference in my body and I juice a lot, I juice every day. So I feel a difference in that. And one thing I lack that is very important that Amy keeps telling me, drink water, and I know that's like one of the most important things that you need to do is drink a lot of
It's
water.
an easy thing to do,
It's
but
easy,
it's the
but
hardest
it's
thing to
Yeah,
accomplish
yeah,
because
yeah.
you forget, it's such a simple thing, but it's really hard to do.
It's important.
Especially, taking care of my mom every day, I'm like, you have to drink water, especially with older people. It's important because you don't want to become
Dehydrated, and that could put you in a
definitely,
very bad
definitely.
state.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, you know what I went through so with my mom with the UTI and what have you. I'm trying to get her to drink water, so I had to drink some of my water. But
But
it's important.
speaking of allergies, when I got the lupus, I'm allergic to red dye,
Really.
which I never was before. As a child, you used to eat a lot of candy, a lot of red candy. Can't have it anymore, but I don't eat candy anyway anymore.
Well, the red dye is cancerous.
Right.
All that stuff is so cancerous, and you look at foods and any kind of color additive, anything that has, it's just so processed. I know I won't say, but a family member brought some food to my mom, and I've been like an advocate since she got sick, bringing all this whole foods and,
Right.
Nothing with any chemicals in it and what have you. And, they're saying, oh, but you do this. And I'm like, hey, I'm bringing food. She enjoys it, but she likes other food better. And
Right.
I'm like, but guess what? If she enjoyed my food, if you brought that food there, she wouldn't really miss the other crap. It's like,
Right.
come on, give me a break. So one day I came and I see these sugar-free cookies, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I started reading them. There's all kinds of dye and this, that, and the other. And then laxative,
Right.
My mother's had diarrhea for over a month now. So I
Yeah.
was like, hello.
You have to be
You
really
know?
careful.
Yeah, but you don't realize, but it was flaxseed oatmeal cookies, so it sounds so good.
Right. It's so healthy, but it's really not.
No, it's so scary. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, why do you? But it's so, people don't read and they don't realize, and it's just not, people don't have that awareness.
They have to be more educated.
Right.
That's
to
what,
be
yeah,
educated,
they have
right.
to educate yourself. Even when going to a doctor,
Right.
you really have to ask questions, and you have to be
Right.
more, you have to be your own doctor
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Right, and that's what I
That's-
say in my
yeah,
book. You really
yeah.
have to be your
Yeah,
own
doctor.
advocate,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have to learn how to ask the questions.
Mm-hmm.
But the most important thing is you really have to listen.
Yeah.
And I believe that if you're not listening, you're not learning. So it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to listen back and forth to one another,
Yeah.
and especially with the doctor. It's important to have a really good rapport with them.
Right.
It's important that you find the right doctor. If you don't like your doctor, I say there's many of them out there. Go and find a new one.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Because it's such a personal relationship you're having with that person. Because this is your life.
Yeah.
You want to heal your body.
Yeah.
You want to be in the best care possible.
Because I'll tell you, that's another thing. Because doctors, some doctors really, and most doctors care,
Right.
but then some doctors have agendas,
Right.
So the thing is, I find doctors that say eat anything in moderation or just
Right.
enjoy life. Let them eat. Come on. My mom started eating everything. They said eat everything, and then my stepfather, he's like, but then what about when they're throwing up and carrying on? They don't talk about that.
Right.
It's not cool
I
when
know.
you do that, to people, because when you put that seed into somebody's mind,
They're going to do it.
They're going to do it. It's like, oh, I can do anything I want.
Right. It's going to grow, and they're going to say, hey, the doctor said.
And the medical field is also, with the medication and pills, they're all giving pills for this, pills for that. And I'm just so against, I know there's certain times that you do have to take medication,
Right.
but I think there's so much that you could do holistically to help
probably
yourself.
you didn't even have to take those medications.
Well, Amy, well, you
Yeah.
did have to take certain medications,
Well, I
a lot
was
of
on
medications.
prednisone for 18 years.
But the thing is,
Right, but I'm
okay,
saying that she
they
holistically,
didn't know better.
right?
Right.
She
That's
had
what I'm saying.
Did
Right.
certain things,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It's like because I know you were all about
Holistic.
holistic,
Right.
But she didn't know better at that point.
That's what I'm
she
saying, the
Took it
doctors-
for 18 years,
Right.
Right.
And she probably could have taken like this approach
Less.
Right.
Right.
that really actually made, because that didn't make you get
No.
to your remission.
No.
What made you get to your
Was
remission?
myself.
It was
Herself
yourself
and
and
her
getting your
body.
body back in balance
Right,
by
in balance.
taking certain things, detoxing your body from all the crap.
Right, and reducing my inflammation, because
Yeah,
when you go and
exactly.
when you go to the doctor, they always take your blood, of course.
Right.
They're going to take your white blood cells, your red blood cells, and a thing called your sedimentation rate.
Right.
And that tells you your inflammation rate within your body.
Right.
So you always want to have a low number.
Right.
My numbers were always high, and my DNA levels were always extremely through the roof.
Yeah.
But that's how you can judge your lupus, how well you're doing and how well you're not doing.
Right.
So it's important.
And now you're taking like the least medication, if you're taking any, and everything is mind over matter. Your
Right.
mind is very powerful, your physical, it's
Right.
all body, mind, and soul, and everything
Yeah.
that you're doing in your book that you described, to motivate everybody.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mind over matter really
Mind.
counts.
Oh yeah.
Because with the neuropathy in my feet, I can't even tell you the amount of pain I'm in. So I've just learned to block it out. And that's a technique that I've taught myself.
Right.
And the other thing is, I was talking about being a lifetime learner. I've gone to, I do TM, which is Transcendental Meditation.
Really.
And I went to Garden City and I learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing because it's really transformed my life. And that helps me too, like block out certain things and just relax and take it easy and lower my stress levels. Because like a couple of months ago, I had very bad anxiety. And then once I learned how to do TM, I don't have it anymore.
Really.
So I didn't have to go to the doctor. I didn't have to take any more medication because I don't want to take any more medication.
Yeah. Did you ever go to like chiropractic care?
In the beginning, I went to chiropractic
How
care.
about what is it? Acupuncturist.
I did all that. I went to the
Yeah,
chiropractor.
yeah.
I went to acupuncture.
Did you
Yes.
find that to be helpful?
Yes, it was helpful in the beginning, yes.
But and after that,
But after that, it was just temporary. But the thing is, you have to really get it under control.
Yeah.
But there's so many different factors going in your mind, like physically, mentally, emotionally. You have to deal with your family, you have to deal with your
Relationships,
friends,
yeah.
relationships, your
Yeah.
job. It's hard to balance. and nobody's teaching you how to do
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So you were like in class raising your hand, help me, how can I do this? You know?
No, really.
You're like, I always felt like I've been the student my whole life, but now today I feel like I'm the teacher,
Right.
and I can teach my students
Yeah,
how to be
yeah.
healthy and happy and balanced.
That's so amazing, and that's where I'm at now.
Right.
Because originally I wanted to be a doctor way back
Me
when,
too.
and what have you too, really?
Yes, but I told you since I fainted in high school, my father said, I don't think so. He said, if you can't get your blood taken, how are you going to work on dead corpses?
Oh my
And I
God.
said, you know what, Dad, you're right.
Well, I was like, I'm afraid of like little critters and stuff
Right.
like that. So to go in there and try to cut up and little, I don't like bugs. So and then I was like, well, to be a doctor, am I going to be a doctor because I want to help people, or do I want to make money? So at that point,
Right.
I probably wanted to make money. So, but now I really want to help people. So that's where I'm at. So it's like that's why
Right.
we're here.
Well, that's
Right.
why
You
we're
know?
here. I was a fitness trainer for 30 years, and I wanted to always, that was rewarding when I helped somebody.
Right.
And even acting now and just being around the actors, we've been helping and doing things for humanity, and that's what it's all about. It's about sharing, it's about giving, it's about the knowledge.
Right.
And we all have it, and Amy's such an inspiration.
No, really.
I love her. I watched her through her whole journey.
Yeah, Diane has
That's-
seen me through every step of my journey.
Yeah.
She's been there for me, which is a
That's a
blessing.
blessing.
Yeah.
It's always good to have that friend.
You need that support
You know?
system,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, definitely.
If you don't
yeah.
have it, it's going to be
Yeah.
tough to make it.
Yeah.
It really
Yes.
is. And everybody in their, anyone who's successful in their life
Yeah.
has a support system.
Right, right.
Always.
Yeah.
If you ask them, they'll always tell you that.
You can't do it by yourself.
Right. And you also have to realize if you don't have a lot of failure, you'll never be successful.
Right,
And I've had so much failure. So now it's time for my success, and I
Hey.
welcome that.
Yeah.
And Amy, one thing I love about Amy is she speaks up, and that's important because I used to hold things up, but Amy tells it like it is.
Yes.
And I think
Straight
that's
shooter,
and
huh?
I think
Straight
and I
shooter.
think that's great that she gets that out, and I love that about her.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that about her, and
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah,
that now
yeah.
more than I used to be.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
used to be able to say no, and
Right.
and Amy knows that because I was always running and doing and going.
Yeah.
But like you say, Amy, it's all about the balance in your life, and it's
Right.
about being around the positive people.
Right.
And get away from the negativity, and
You have to
we've
get
been
rid of the
through
noise,
that.
eliminate the
yes,
noise.
yes,
all of
yes,
that.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I know with myself, and I'm noticing this about fun. You have to be.
You have to have fun
and
and
you have to be
happiness.
happy.
Right.
I actually rediscovered, and because I used to love to dance. Okay.
Right.
And I would go out like 4 or 5 times a year. I mean, a week, and I almost didn't graduate from college, because I was like
Having
a
too
party
much fun,
Yeah,
right.
I was a party animal, and so then life starts, and
Right.
you start working, and then you stop doing what you enjoy. So recently, I started enjoying it a little bit again, and I was like, house music. Oh, I love house music. I started going out to the city and partying a little bit here
Nice.
and there, and
Yeah, it's fun.
and it's just like a friend of mine's. I guess he's the same age as me. He was like, you know what? It's like we're going back to our childhood, what we enjoyed. Why did we stop?
Right.
If it made you happy, why stop?
Right.
You continue doing it. You have to have fun. You have to be happy, and
Yeah.
when you're happy, your balance is so much
Right.
better. It's like, oh my
Your
God.
body's in harmony.
Yes.
I love to travel.
Yes.
Travel's
Oh,
one of
me
my
too.
favorite
Yes,
things.
Yes, yes.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love photography like Diane.
Diane.
And I love dogs. I love
Right.
Diane's
We love animals.
dogs.
Yeah,
I
we love animals.
Yeah, yeah.
Amy's my babysitter too.
Oh, really?
My dogs love her. She
okay.
comes
Yeah.
over when I go away, and today when she came, they just love Aunt Amy.
Well,
And
I was going to be a veterinarian. That's how much I love the animals.
Right.
So I think we're all very much the same. Here, but it is about just helping and being happy.
Right.
And if you're not happy, then it don't make no sense.
and getting through those challenges every day is like a challenge,
Yeah.
and
Right.
it's getting through those challenges and making each day a better day.
Right. And the one thing I learned in
Okay.
therapy, what Diane was saying, I always speak up. If you don't ask, you're not going to get. So that's the one thing. And saying no to people, I've
Yeah.
had to learn that to balance myself.
yeah.
Because I'm a giver, I'm not a taker.
Right. Yeah,
And I had
yeah.
to learn how to you know, put that in proper perspective for myself.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And then you become happy. You
yeah,
know,
Yes,
yeah,
you
no,
become
do
your own
become
person. You
happy.
become
It's
your own
true.
person.
Yeah.
because you're living for you,
You.
you're
Yeah,
not living for
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can still give, but you have to live for yourself
Yeah.
too.
My new favorite saying is, "Do you?
Right.
You have to do you. You
Exactly.
know, if you don't do you, then
If you don't
Right.
do you can't help your mom.
no,
You can't help
exactly,
your dad.
exactly,
And you can't help
exactly,
your husband. And you
exactly.
can't help yourself.
No, truly. I know that the other day I had wanted to go out, well, to the premiere.
We
I mean,
went-
not the premiere, the party. You know, I'm a party animal. So
the movie premiere.
yeah, well,
Right.
it was actually a party, and
Right.
so we were going. I had
Party.
invited my husband, and I asked one of my girlfriends to go, and her husband. And then I thought about it. I was like, my husband's going to watch this, but you know, I was like, I think we should go as the girls, you know.
Right.
So I
That's
said,
good.
"Diane, you going?" So she said, "Oh, I wasn't going. I don't know." And I said, "Well, you know, I'm thinking, you know." So we kind of disinvited. We were like, "Oh, you know, it's going to be like a little crazy,
Right.
you know, for you all to come, you know, our husbands, respectively, because my girlfriend, she's a designer."
Right.
So, you know, it's like you go out there and you want to, you know,
Right.
mingle. You can't do it with the husbands, you know? So I
Right.
was like, let's have a good time. So we left the husbands home, and it was like, what, 5 of us? We set out on the road trip, and we had a good time.
That's
you know?
great. It's
We went
important,
and,
yeah.
and partied and
Got
we
home the
had a
next
really
day.
good- Yeah.
With no sleep.
Yeah, yeah, that was kind of rough, but it was all good.
No, but having fun is important. I love to play tennis and
yeah.
golf too. I
Oh,
really
really?
enjoy it. It's great.
So your body's good now, so that you can do all those good things that you enjoyed
To be
back in
physical.
the
I
day.
love
Yeah,
being physical.
Yeah,
Because I thought about it. When I was happiest, I was always so physical.
yeah.
And I wanted to get my body back to that
Right,
spot,
right,
you know?
right.
And the other important thing is, you know, I used to worry about the future
Mm-hmm.
because I lived in fear.
Yeah.
And on my, you know, my motto, my tagline on my website is "No fear, I will persevere."
Well, that sounds really
And
cool.
perseverance is my strongest character suit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I live by that now.
And you do mantras too.
And I do mantras too, yes.
Very good. Yeah, I'm just learning. I have a mantra, but not really. I have to really develop it, you know. But so what do you do every morning?
Every morning, every day that I get up, before I get up and then I try to meditate 10 to 20 minutes every day. And then I get out of bed and then I head down to the gym and then I come home. I go to work, I take care of my mom, and then I usually do some writing or work on my website,
Wow,
you know.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm always busy every minute of the day, which
Yeah,
is great.
busy.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
busy.
Very busy.
It's
As I
good
said-
because it doesn't allow your brain or your body to like get off
Yeah,
task. You
yeah.
always want to be on task.
Right.
It's important.
I have a lot of work to do.
It's important to focus, right?
It's to be
Yeah,
organized. Like
yeah.
Amy said, you have to
Right,
be
be
organized. And I
organized,
think
yeah.
when you're organized, you really do stay more focused.
Right.
And that's how I feel when I'm organized. And I know Amy's extremely organized with everything that you do.
Because if I'm not organized, I wouldn't be able to do what I
Right,
do.
Right.
And that allows me to focus. But the
Yeah.
meditation, the mantras, like you said, really help me.
Yeah.
It's key.
And then you write everything
And
down.
then I write
and-
everything down. Like already I have my outline for my second book.
Yeah.
Now I'm just going to start writing a little bit every day. That's how I did my first book.
Well, yeah.
So it's great. And then things just come to you.
Yeah.
And then you just put it all together.
Well, no, when you came and I got your book and I got your outline, I was like, wow, this is who I want to be.
Thank you.
I
That's
was like,
really
this
nice
is
compliment.
amazing. It truly is amazing. So now what you're going to be doing is you want to do the motivational speaking,
right.
and you actually are, well, you are motivational. You are inspirational. And you're just going to continue growing. And, well, don't just limit it to the adults. I'm sorry. You have to
No,
give it to the
children are
kids. You
children.
know, you got to keep the kids because the kids, you know, they're going to be adults.
Right.
And in
They
order
have
for
to
them
learn.
to, yeah, you know, so don't limit.
One of the schools that I work at, the principal said to me, "Oh, if you ever want to come and speak to the children," so I will definitely do that.
Yeah, you have to, you know, because
Definitely.
these kids, you know, they're learning now. You know,
Right.
it's out there, and because I know our parents, I love them, you know, but like my mom was like, oh well, you know, they wouldn't make the food like that if it was not bad for us.
Right.
Hello, but it's not true.
Right.
It's not true. You know, it's like, why are they adding this stuff? Why is, you know, like France and Germany and all those other places saying, no, we're banning that. We're not
Right.
allowing that in
'Cause they
our
know.
country.
They
you
know better.
It's like they know better. But why do we not, you know, because certain companies are like paying them off, and it's
Finances,
like
right.
it's all
The
about
finances,
that.
right.
So we, you know, but our people don't realize that this is not good. You know, it's just not good for us. So,
Right.
you know, and wow, we have a few more minutes.
I
Left.
wanted,
Okay.
I wanted to bring up a new quote out of Amy's book by Eleanor Roosevelt. It says, "With a new day comes new strengths and new thoughts."
Right.
And I thought that was a very powerful quote.
I live by that every
Every
day.
day.
Yeah. And you know what? I should have had you read a excerpt.
Excerpt.
Yeah, out of it, because that would have been powerful. But we don't have the time.
But you
now.
have to buy the book.
Yes, you
So
definitely
It's
have to buy the
available on
book, yeah.
Amazon.com.
that you can tell us where you can find it again.
Amazon.com, and it's in a hard copy book, and it's
Okay.
also in ebook form, which I learned how to do. And that was a challenge, but it was a good challenge because I learned how to do it all.
Okay.
So, you know, I was the writer, I was the publisher, I'm my own agent. I'm promoting myself, which is great.
Yeah,
have
But
to
it's
market,
wonderful because
right.
I own it. I take control
yeah,
of it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's important.
Wow.
And where can we find you, Amy?
You can find me on amyakel.com or on Facebook. I have a page, Amy Akel, on my Facebook. And also my phone number is 516-428-0159.
And do me a favor, spell it, because sometimes, you know.
Sure, my first name is spelled Aimee, and my last name is spelled Ackell.
Okay, great. Okay.
And you could go to Amazon. It's called The Butterfly Girl by Amy Akel. And is there any last words you want to say? There's a great quote that we spoke about. I wanted, you know, what's your last quote that you would say?
Yes, you need peace and harmony in your life to be happy.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to be happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Is there any
Because
other?
when there's
yeah.
people in the world, I believe when they're happy, the world's a better place to live in because you're always smiling.
Yeah.
And in my book, I always write, smile, smile more, and cherish yourself.
That's it.
You have to cherish yourself.
Yeah. Because guess what?
Who else is going to do it?
Yeah, exactly. You have to start within
Yourself, right.
You know, and that's what we all are doing. You know, I never could stop smiling.
Yes.
I love smiling.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why we are like, we're going to be all besties.
I think Mother Teresa said that, to always smile. Mother Teresa, that was a quote. My mom used to call me Mother Teresa, but I think that was a quote because I was always helping and giving and loving, and that's such an important thing to do is smile.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we all have beautiful smiles.
Yeah.
So smile.
Yeah. And so we're going to have to sign off for now. And thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
So
I feel so
much.
blessed and honored.
Oh my
Thank you
gosh.
so
And
much.
we're going to have you on again.
I would love to.
You
It'd
know,
be great.
well,
Yes.
definitely.
And we'll put the phone lines, and if anyone wants to ask questions, they'll call.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
And contact Amy. And thanks for tuning in. And we will be back next week with another wonderful passion for life and with Dee and Friends. And thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.